I am a night owl living an early bird life, and I fit quite well. I learned to adjust and adapt. But for this second episode of our soft winter arc series, I'll share all my tips and tricks and my approach and how I let go of the self-blame and feeling guilty for not being a natural early bird. If you're new here, my name is Maria, and this is your channel for creating a calm and balanced life. Now, I have already made videos about sleep and all the ways it affects our physical and mental health. Sleep is foundational, it's very important for the success of everything else we'll be talking about in this series. So if you are curious to know the details and the biology of it, I am going to link the videos down below in the description. And here we'll talk more about my struggles as a night owl in the early bird world and society and how I figured it out. Now, one way I know I am a night owl, even though I have been living as an early bird and waking up early and going to bed reasonably early, is because all of my creative inspiration, all the breakthrough ideas and strategies, everything, everything bright and great comes after midnight. It is my natural sort of flow state moment when, if I can explain it just in simple terms, it's like I do all the things I do during the day, but then comes nightfall, and especially like my sweet spot is between like midnight and 3 a.m. and everything just becomes clear. And even if I have been ruminating on something or like in doubt or want some creative inspiration, suddenly in this window between midnight and 3 a.m. it's like everything becomes clear and like, oh, it's this, it's that. And it takes me, honestly, when I work on things in that time frame after midnight, it takes me like 2-3 hours to figure out things which normally would take me days or weeks. And I have some I have some scientific research that I would like to believe in. I don't know, by the way, like please share in the comments if you've heard about it as well, but I a couple of years ago heard that they studied our genes and that evolutionarily some people, I think like certain percentage of the population, have a night owl gene. And these were people who back in the caveman time or, you know, this far away past time, people who would stay up at night and do the night shifts, and then sort of they argue that this is how this genetic change occurred. So that actually helped me release some of that feeling of guilt for not being able to be overly bright during waking daytime hours, because I was feeling comfortable. If you read books on personal development or watch YouTube videos, there's often this whole sentiment that to be successful, to be this and to be that, you have to be an early bird. You have to wake up at 5 a.m. and you have to do all your creative ideas and planning and all of that between like 5 and 6 in this. I'm like, I can keep myself upright, I can do like physical workouts, but I can't be bright and inspired and creative early morning, hard as I might try. So understanding myself and sort of accepting that I am the way I am is what sort of really helped me deal with these complex feelings and actually work around my nature, like sort of work with my nature and figure out the healthiest way to integrate both my night owl nature and the early bird lifestyle that I have to live. And to clarify, I wake up 5 times a week. I wake up at 5:45 in the morning, and Saturday, Sunday I can sleep in, but that is like till about 7 o'clock in the morning. And that has been the case for many years. And I I honestly, I don't know how many times, maybe I can count on the fingers of one hand, how often I have allowed myself or had the chance to sleep in past like 7 o'clock in the morning ever. I do enjoy early mornings. I do enjoy watching the sunrise. I think it's very pretty, but it's just the thing is that I can enjoy live. I like doing my Surya Namaskar, like my sun salutation, yoga flow at sunrise. However, I am absolutely dysfunctional when it comes to like creativity or clear strategic thinking. So my main workaround is that I build like this kind of late nights, which I allow myself consciously. I don't have like a regular schedule for that, but it's more like sometimes I think the way it works for me is that sometimes for my business or for my life, I have these things which are like brewing and I can feel something is brewing, but it just can't come out during my normal daytime waking hours. And then I know, okay, I gotta just allow myself to stay up late and maybe sacrifice and function the following day on like 3 hours of sleep. But this nighttime clarity that I receive and the inspiration I receive are really worth it. The key here is to keep it like occasional. I'm talking about maybe a couple of times a month, so it doesn't really become like a habit. Because the other thing is that it's interestingly, a lot of people think it's okay to like sleep in late on weekends, but if you think about it, our weekends are essentially like a third of our week. So I think generally like a healthy, like same time to bed, same time waking up routine is important for our overall physical and mental health. Now, the way I made mornings appeal to me more is I followed Mark Manson's advice, and he always says that like two things. First of all, a successful, happy, joyful morning starts with a good night before. So a good sleep hygiene, things like no screens for at least half an hour before bed, preferably longer, but for me it's at least half an hour. And nighttime rituals, which sort of just train the brain, like, okay, I do this, I do this. So for me, for example, simple yoga flows, especially yin yoga, just something relaxing, holding each pose for like a minute or two. It's like, it gets me all into this sleepy time mood, and my brain remembers. The thing is that we can train our brain, and these kind of rituals, whether it's a cup of herb tea, maybe with chamomile or something calming like lavender, or very mild somatic connection like slow breath work, where you really concentrate on your breath, meditation or yin yoga, it all becomes this sort of like a reminder for your brain, okay, we're winding down for sleep. By the way, if you're interested, I shared all of my favorite rituals and routines that I use generally to regulate my nervous system, to get in the parasympathetic state, which is very useful to be in before you go to bed, in the course that I created, and the link is in the description. The idea is that when we train our brain with certain repetitive actions, it becomes easier, just biologically, psychologically, for us to relax and realize, okay, it's time to sleep soon. And the second very important advice I learned from Mark Manson's videos was that when we have something to look forward to in the morning, during the day, it is much easier to jump out of bed and be excited about starting your day. And that's where I love my morning routine. And by the way, I don't have like this super productive morning routine like what you see people do. I more try to fill my mornings with as much nervous system regulating activities and something that makes me happy and joyful as possible. So for this winter arc, I invite you to consider your sleeping habits, I invite you to accept your nature, whether you are naturally a night owl or early bird, and to approach the subject of sleep with intentionality, but also with self-compassion, and learn to incorporate healthy sleeping habits while honoring your nature. And if you have any tips or advice on your favorite morning routines or sleep hygiene routines, what works for you, also please share if you are a night owl or an early bird in the comments. I'm always very excited to read the comments, and I make an effort to respond to most of them. And I'm excited that we are in this beautiful winter arc period and setting foundations for a beautiful, transformative end of the year. Thank you for being with me today, and I'll see you here next Thursday for episode 3. Wishing you a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Bye!